Hey guys, I have a big announcement for you. I've made a course to teach you how you can build a multilingual full stack blog with Next.js and Directus. It's a 9 hours long and very detailed course and covers all the latest features of Next.js 13. You will learn how to build UI with Tailwind and Next.js, how to build your own headless CMS and data structure with Directus, how to connect your headless CMS with Next.js, how to create a multilingual website with the internationalization feature, how to get full SEO score for your website, and finally, how to deploy your front end and back end for free. I made the first 2 hours free for you. You can watch it now. And if you would like to continue, you can buy the course with the huge discount coupon. And if you have any question, feel free to join our Discord channel. If you are ready, let's get started. Okay guys, I guess we are ready. Now we can start our Next.js 13 project. First thing you need to do is opening a terminal on your computer. I'm on Mac, so I can search terminal and hit enter. It will open up a terminal for me. And then you need to navigate the folder that you want to install your project. You can do this with this command cd desktop, cd YouTube, cd courses, like this. If you want to go back, you can write cd ... like this. Okay? Cool. Now we are in the folder that we want to install our project. We can write npx create next app at latest, like this. What's your project name? Our project name is Next.js 13 blog, like this. And would you like to use TypeScript with this project? Yes, I will use TypeScript, but don't be afraid if you don't know TypeScript. This is not a TypeScript course, of course, right? But I don't believe that this course is gonna be complicated in terms of TypeScript. If there is something that I need to explain to you, I will explain it. But if you don't want to use TypeScript, you can go with JavaScript too, okay? Cool. Now I will hit yes, and yes, we are going to use ESLint. ESLint is a program that warns us if there is something wrong with our code. So yes, we are going to use it. Would you like to use Tailwind CSS? Yes, I would like to use Tailwind CSS. We don't want to use single source directory, so I will go with no. Use app router? Yes, we will use app router. Would you like to customize default import alias? No. Okay, now our project is installing. Cool. Now the project is installed, right? Now we need to go to project folder like this. cd Next.js 13 blog. This was the name of our project, right? Okay, now we are in the project folder. Now we can type code and dot like this, and it will open up VS Code for us. As you can see, our VS Code is loading at the moment with our latest project. Okay, now we are ready to dive into our code. First thing we need to do is opening a new terminal inside of our VS Code, and we can open another terminal like this. Okay, we will have two terminals. In the first one, we will write yarn dev. If you are using npm, you can use npm run dev 2. Okay, I will use yarn dev like this, and it will be starting our Next.js server, and we can open our localhost 3000 on our browser. And as you can see, our project is working like a charm. Okay, now we need to clear unnecessary things that comes with initial project. Okay, we can choose this code and delete, and then we can write main and hello world like this and hit save. As you can see, it's on our project. Okay, cool. Now we need to delete unnecessary things in Tailwind config.js. You can delete this whole code, okay, like this. And also we can go to our globals.css file, and in this file we can delete all this code because we are not going to be using them, and hit save. As you can see, now we have a blank project. Let me introduce you our first key concept, file-based routing. To understand what is file-based routing in Next.js, we can go to official documentation of Next.js 13. And in this web page, we can go to routing section. In this section, you will see a bunch of graphics. Let's follow these graphics to understand what is file-based routing. In the first graphic, you will see that there is a structure called tree. This structure is our project structure. In the beginning, there is a folder called app. This folder is the same with this app folder. And also, we have another structure called subtree. Inside of this app folder, we can create a folder called dashboard. And inside of this folder, we can create analytics, settings, password, and profile. This is going to be our subtree, as well as this subtree. Okay? And in terms of URL structure, this is our domain. And after our domain, we have our segment, first segment, dashboard. This is coming from the name of this folder. If you change the name of this folder, like dashboard 1, this will be dashboard 1, 2, okay? And after this segment, we will have another segment called settings. And when you combine those segments, it will create our URL path. Okay, cool. Now let's check how we can create this structure with folders in app directory. To create this structure, you can create a folder called dashboard inside of your app folder. And you can create another folder called settings, like this. Okay? When you create these folders, in the same time you are creating this structure. This is the reason that it's called file-based routing. Okay? Cool. Now let me show you what is folders and files. Okay? To define your routes, you need to create folders, but to create UI inside of this folders, you need to create a file called page.jsx or tsx. Okay? With folders, you are defining roots, and to control what's inside this root, you need to create a file called page.tsx or JSX. Now let me show you how we can do that. First, let's go to our application, localhost 3000, and in our project, let's create a file folder called about. And inside of this folder, let's create a file called page.tsx. And in this file, we need to export a function like this. Const page equals, and it will be arrow function like this. And also we need to export default this page function. And inside of this function, we need to return JSX like this. For example, we can create a div and we can say that this is about page. Okay? And let's try to go our about page like this, about. As you can see, now we see our text that we have created here. We can change this text like this, and we will see the same text on our localhost 3000/about page. We can change this folder name like about one maybe, and if you try to go this page, you can see that there is an error called 404 because this page is not exist at the moment. So when we try to go about one, we can see our about page because we have changed the folder name. This folder name affects this segment, this URL path, and this file affects the UI of this particular page. Okay, now I will show you how we can create nested routes and also how we can navigate between pages. Okay, first let's create our nested route. To create the nested route, first we need to create a new folder inside of our about folder. Okay, let's create a new folder called company, and inside of this folder we will create another page.tsx file. Remember that whenever you want to create a page, you need to create this page.tsx file, and you cannot change the name. This is convention. Okay, cool. Now we need to export a function called page, and we will return JSX, and this will be company page. Okay, and inside of our browser we can go to about/company like that. Oops, sorry, we need to export this page function. Okay, cool. Now we see our company page. Okay, now we are ready with our nested routes. We can create the navigation between pages. To create this navigation, let's go to our home page first. Okay, this is our home page, and inside of our home page, let's get rid of this text and create h1, and let's call it home. And inside of this page, we need to create a component called link. This is predefined component coming from Next.js. You can write link and you need to import from next/link. If you press enter, it will import for you like this. About. And you need to define your ref like this. About. Okay? Now we can go to our home page. And inside of our home page, we can click About. As you can see, now we are on About page. And inside of this About page, we can create another link. And again, we need to import it, return home like this. And also we need to define our ref like this. We can just put slash for home. If we click this return home, as you can see, we go to our home page. If we click about, we go to our about page. And if you want to go to our company page, we can duplicate this link and we can write about slash company, and we can change this text company like this. And if we click this company, as you can see, now we are on our company page, about slash company. This is nested root. Let me introduce you our second key concept, layouts. And to understand what is layout, let's go to official documentation of Next.js 13. In this documentation, you can go to routing section and page and layouts. Okay? We have already know what's page, right? And we can go to layouts now. A layout is a UI that is shared between multiple pages. As you can see in our project, we have our root layout. This is predefined and it's required. You cannot delete this layout because this is root layout. Okay? As you can see in HTML tag, we have our body tag, and this body tag wraps our children. Actually, our entire application is this children, okay, for this root layout. Let me show you how we can use this layout in our application. First, let's go to our application and we can go to our layout file, and in this file let's create a div and we put some links here. Okay, first I will create a logo for our blog project like this logo, and also I will create a list, and inside of this list we will create our links about and company. But we need to create link component, as you may remember, right? Link, about, and ref, about. Okay, we can copy this and paste into here. We can change the name and ref like this. Okay, and we can create some styling. like this, and we can create border button like this. Okay, and also we can make this flex item center and justify between like this. Cool. And also maybe we can make this flex too, flex items center, and we can give some gap like this. Okay, now it looks like a real navigation light. Okay, cool. And also we can make this link too, right? If we want to go to our home page, we can click this logo. We can copy this link and put here, and we can change this. We can get rid of this H1. Maybe we can create a class for making bold like this. Yeah, cool. Now, oops, sorry, we accidentally delete our about page link. Let's create again. Okay, cool. Now, if we click this about, as you can see, we are on the about page, but we still see this navigation, right? This is the reason is we have created this navigation inside of our root layout, which means that we will see this navigation on every page because root layout wrap our entire application. Okay, so we can use this layout for the components that we want to use it in everywhere, like navigation or footer or etc. Okay, that's why we are using layouts. I think layouts are great features which comes with the latest version of Next.js 13, because you don't need to create or import those reusable components into everywhere. You can just use your layout, put these shared components into your layout, and you can use these components in everywhere. Okay, now I think we are ready to start building our blog application. First, we need to get rid of this navigation part, okay? And then we can delete this about root because we are not going to be using this root in our application. Then we can go to our page and delete this link as well, okay? And we can go to our home page on our application. Cool. To create our first component, we need to create a folder called components in the root of our project, like this, components. We will hold whole components inside of this folder, okay? This is a convention. And inside of this folder, we can create navigation folder. And inside of this folder, we can create a file called navigation.tsx, like this, okay? And inside of this file, we will export function called const navigation, like this. And let me show you a quick way to create this kind of functions. You can use shortcuts called RAFCE, like this. It will create whole function and the export declaration for you. To use this shortcut, you need to install an extension called React ES7 plus React Redux React Native snippets. Okay, you need to install this plugin into your VS Code. Then you can create your functions with RAFCE like this. If you hit enter, it will create the function and export declaration for you. And you can change the name like this and click Command S to save and to format. Okay, cool. Now inside of our navigation, first we will create our link, home link, and we can use our link tag for that purpose. Okay, and our logo will be Explorer, and this will redirect user to the home page like this. Okay, and we can import this navigation component into our layout since we are going to use this navigation on every page. Okay, let's import this component navigation like this, and we need to import this from components, navigation, and navigation. Okay, cool. As you can see, now we see our logo in here. Cool. And the second thing is creating our category links. Okay, category links like this, and we can create a div, or maybe we can create a nav, and inside of this nav we can create a list like this, and inside of this list we can create our list item. Inside of this list item we can create a link, and for the first category we will use cities like this, and we need to import this link from next link, and also we need to define our ref like this. Okay, and we can copy this list item and change like this. Okay, cool. Now we can give some style to our navigation component. Okay, first I want to give some padding to this component. To create this padding, I will create another component because we will use this padding in everywhere. Actually, this is gonna be our padding container. For that purpose, we will create another folder called layout in our components folder. In this layout folder, we will create padding container.tsx like this, and we can use our shortcut and we can change the name padding container like this. Okay, and we will pass our another component into this component. This is gonna be wrapper component. This will bring the proper padding into the components that we pass into it. That's why we need to get our children as an argument. Children. Okay, and for the TypeScript we need to use children, and this is gonna be React no. Okay, cool. And inside of this padding container, we will return our children like this. And we will give the styling here like this. First, I want to set our left and right padding, and it will be like px 8. Okay, let's go to our navigation and wrap this navigation with our padding container. As you can see, now we have our padding, left and right padding, and we will use this padding setting in everywhere. That's why we have created a separate component, wrapper component for that purpose. Okay, cool. Now we can go to our padding container and let's make this full width. Okay, but let's define our max width like this. And also we will have auto margin on left and right side. Okay, cool. Now we can go to our navigation, and inside of our navigation we can define our top and bottom padding like this, P, Y, and 6 maybe. Yeah, cool. And also this is gonna be flex, items center, and justify between like this. And also I want to make this flex as well, flex, items center, and gap 3 or 4. Yeah, like that. Okay, cool. Now I want to create a bottom border for our navigation like this. Okay, but as you can see, we need to set this border without this padding, because this border is not continue because of the padding, right? That's why I will remove this border and create another container and define our border inside of this container like this. And also we need to change the order of our components. We need to put our padding container into here. Okay, cool. Now we have a proper navigation. Okay, and also as you can see, it's perfectly aligned center. It's because of this MX auto. It basically create margin left auto and margin right auto. When you combine this with full width, and when you set the max width property, as you can see, it will not go beyond this max width, and also it will be aligned into center like this. Okay, cool. Now we can go to our navigation and we can give some style to our logo, font bold, text LG maybe. Yeah, cool. And also we can create some styling for our links as well. Maybe we can change the color like this. Yeah, cool. Also, maybe we can decrease this padding a little bit. Yeah, okay. Now it's perfect. But there's another thing that I want to do, and it's making this navigation sticky. When the user is scrolling down, I want this navigation component follows user. To create this, first let's go to our home page and make this page a little bit longer, and we can define our height like this. Okay, now as you can see, it's scrollable because we set our height 3000 pixel like this. Okay, now let's go to our navigation and define this navigation as sticky. Okay, and we need to set top 0, left 0, and right 0. As you can see, now our navigation is stick to the top, right? Okay, but there is a problem. As you can see, we can see the contents below this navigation. That's why we need to create some background color, right? Okay, cool. Now let's create a background color like this, background white. Okay, now we don't see, but maybe we can make it better. First, let's change the background opacity like this, maybe. Now we barely see, and also we can create some background blur like this. As you can see, maybe we can decrease this like that. Maybe a little bit. Yep. As you can see, we can see the content below this navigation, but it's blurry, right? I think this is great. Okay, cool. Now we can create our footer component. So in the end, our footer component will look like this. But before diving into coding this component, I want to create a file to hold our informations. For example, we have our social links, our description, the information about where we are currently, since this is an Explorer blog, or maybe we can even hold our logo text inside of this config. That's why I want to create a file called site config to hold this information. Okay, cool. First, I will go to our project root, and inside of this root, I will create a folder called config, and inside of this folder, I will create a file site.ts like this. Okay, it doesn't need to be tsx because we will not return any GSX inside of this file. That's why we can use ts. Okay, cool. So we will create a config file. Maybe we can name it site config like this. And first, we can create our site name. And it's gonna be Explorer, right? and we can define our description like this, and we can copy this text. Okay, cool. And also I want to define our currently at information here, Budapest, cool. And also our social links. And first one is gonna be Twitter, maker dev, and our YouTube maybe. Yeah, like this. Our GitHub. Yeah. Our LinkedIn and our Instagram, like this. Okay, cool. Now we need to export default this site config, and for the TypeScript we need to create this we need to create the type of this object. Okay, we can create it here with interface. Again, following this part is not necessary. If you don't want to use TypeScript, you can use JavaScript, but I use TypeScript, that's why I need to create this type. Export interface site config, like this. And site name is going to be string, description is going to be string, currently at is going to be string, social links, Twitter is going to be string, YouTube is going to be string, and so on. Okay, and we can pass this type into our object like this. Okay, now TypeScript is happy. We can use this site config in our project. Okay, let's create our footer component. This is the component that we are gonna create. Okay, let's go to our project, and inside of our navigation folder we can create another file called footer.tsx. Okay, and we will create our function. We will edit our name and hit save to format. Okay, cool. Now first I want to create styling for padding, and also I want to create a border for top. Okay, like this. And also we can have some kind of top margin like this, maybe. Yeah, cool. Now we can import, or maybe we can put some text here, and also we can import this footer into our layout. As you can see, we imported our navigation here, and there's children. This is our entire application actually, and below this children we will import our footer, right? Okay, cool. And also we can go to our home page, and we can make this 900 pixel to see our footer. Yes, now we can see our footer. Okay, let's go to our footer again. Cool. And bring our padding container like this. Okay, as you can see, is TypeScript is not happy because we need to pass our children into this component, right? Okay, let's create our first div inside of our footer. And inside of this div, we will create our logo. Maybe we can use H2 here like this, and we can bring our site config and site config.site name like this. Okay, cool. Give some style, text 3XL and font bold maybe. Yeah, cool. Also, maybe we can increase this padding a little bit. Okay, cool. And below this, I want to bring our description here. Yeah, cool. And I will give some max width like this. Yeah, maybe we can put some top margin, and we can change the text color and also the font size like this. Yeah, looks good. Okay, cool. Now I want to add another section here. Okay, social and currently add section. Let's create another div for that purpose, and also we can give some top margin like this. Okay, and inside of this div I will create another div and another div actually, and I will put our hashtag explore the world like this. Okay, cool. Oops, there's a typo here, world. We can make this medium actually. Yeah, looks good to me. And also I want to create our social links, but I will create this in the next section. Okay, for now we can put social links here. Okay, cool. Now I want to create our currently at section. Okay, I will put another div inside of this, currently at, and I want to make this flex and justify between like this. And also we can give some padding and flex wrap. If the screen size is very small, it will wrap, and the currently add section will be below this social links and explore the world section. Okay, that's why we put this gap. When this happen, it will create the margin between these two separate sections. Maybe I can show you here. Oops. Maybe I can show you like that. Yep, as you can see, it wraps and create the margin with this gap. Okay, cool. Now we can give some style to this text SM and text neutral 400 maybe. Yeah, cool. And also we will create another div, and we will bring our site config dot currently at here. Cool. And also we will give some styling to this div, like bg white shadow md rounded md padding for top and bottom like this, and for left and right. Yeah, cool. And we can put another div here to create our this little circle. BG emerald 600 maybe. Yeah, rounded full. It will make this circle, and we want H1 actually. Yeah, maybe we can make it bigger like this. Yeah, cool. And we can change this color with 400. Yep, cool. And let's make this flex again, item center and gap 2. Oops, sorry, we put into wrong place. We will put it in here actually. Flex, item center, gap 2, like this. Okay, looks great. And maybe we can make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, cool. Okay, now let's create this bottom section. Okay, in this bottom section, maybe we can, yeah, there is, oops, bottom section like this, and we will create another div, and this div will have a top border T, and also some kind of top and bottom padding like 3 maybe. Yep, cool. And we will create our all rights are reserved text. Here we can create another div for that purpose. Yeah, cool. Text SM like this, and text neutral 400 maybe. Yeah, cool. Also, we can change this with a trick like new day get full year. With this method, you don't need to update this hard-coded text when the 2024 has come. So it will automatically update itself. Okay, cool. And another div for this text main with love by maker dev actually. Yeah, cool. Like this. Okay, maybe we can make this link. https://twitter.com maker dev. Okay, and also we need to import this link. Okay, cool. Maybe we can give some underline like this. Yeah, cool. And also we need to make this flex items center gap 4 flex wrap. It's the same with the previous one. And also justify between. Yeah, cool. And we can put some top margin like this maybe. Yeah, cool. Now if we change the, if we change the height of our homepage like this, as you can see, we have our footer and navigation. When we put our content into here, we will have a proper page, right? But before that, we need to create our social links component, this component. Okay, let's create it. Okay, now we can create our social links component. To create this component, first we need to install a library called Lucid. This library brings us our icons. As you can see, there are tons of icons here and the social icons as well. For example, we can go to Lucid, and if we write Twitter here, as you can see, we can get the Twitter icon. That's why we need to install this library into our project. To install this library, we can go to Lucid React and we can copy yarnet Lucid React or npm install Lucid React. Since we are using yarn, we will copy this and install this library. While the library is installing, we can create our social link component here. In the components folder, we can create another folder called elements, maybe, yeah, and we can create a file called sociallink.tsx. And let's create our function and edit our name like this. Okay, cool. And this is gonna be link, of course. That's why we need to import link component from our next/link. And this component takes arguments like platform and also link. Okay, we need to define our types. Platform will be string and link will be string as well. And we need to put our icon here based on this platform argument. Okay, cool. Now we can create a function to get our icon. Const get icon, and we will pass our platform into it, and we can create our switch function like this. And if it's Facebook, we will return Facebook icon from Lucid. Okay, if it's Twitter, we will return Twitter, but we need to import it. If it's Instagram, we will return Instagram. If it's YouTube, we will return YouTube. If it's LinkedIn, we will return LinkedIn. If it's GitHub, we will return GitHub. And we need to import these icons. Okay, cool. Now we can paste this function here to get our icon. And also we need to pass our platform. Cool. And for the link, we will pass our link argument into here, like this. Okay? Cool. Now let's go to our footer and we can go to our application. And inside of our social links section, let's create our first social link. Social link, and platform will be Twitter, and link will be siteconfig dot social links dot Twitter. Okay, let's check if it works. Yep, it works. Okay, now we can create other links. It's gonna be Instagram, GitHub, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Instagram, GitHub, YouTube, and LinkedIn, like this. Okay, now we can go to our social link component. Maybe we can define the size here like this because it's too big at the moment. Now it's too small. Maybe we can make this 16 or 18. Yeah, cool. Now we need to make this flags and items center and gap 3 like this. Okay, cool. And also maybe we can change the text color like this. Yeah, cool. And give some top margin. Yeah, it's very cool. And when you click, as you can see, it's going the link that we have provided, right? We can go back into our application. I think now we are finished our footer component. Now we can start creating the content of our homepage. Before diving into creating the UI of this part, let's first create our dummy data for our posts. Okay, cool. In our project folder, we can create a file called dummy data.ts. We will use this dummy data until we create our CMS with Directus and fetch data from there. Okay, to build our UI, we don't have to wait until our CMS is running. We can use some kind of dummy data to build our UI. I will copy this dummy data let me expand this section. Okay, we have our dummy posts and we have our dummy categories. Okay, now we need to create the type of this data. First, post type and the category type. Okay, for that purpose, we can go to our project folder and create a folder called types. And inside of this types, we can create another folder file called collection.ts. Okay? In here, we will create our post type first. Again, this is for TypeScript. If you are building this block with regular JavaScript, you don't have to create these types. But if you are using TypeScript, you need to create this type. Okay? First, export interface and post like this. And it's gonna be object, ID will be string, title will be string, and this autocompletes coming from GitHub Copilot, by the way. Because GitHub Copilot can understand our whole project, it brings the proper data and types based on our dummy data. But you can create these types by hand as well. Okay? Description, category will be category, but we didn't create category yet, but we will create it. And also we need to create author, and this will be author again, slug. Image will be string, body will be string, date created will be string, date updated will be string. Now let's create our category interface, and this is gonna be string and title. Okay, cool. Now we can create our author. ID will be string and first name will be string, last name will be string. Okay, cool. Now we can import these types like this. Okay, but we need to define our slug in our types as well. For category, slug will be string again. And now let's check. Yep, there is an error because we need to define the description type. Description string. Yeah, cool. Let's check if it works. Okay, now there is an error with the category object inside of post. We can fix this like that. These are not required. If you put this question mark after your key, object key, it means that these are not required. You can create this object without these keys because they are not required. Okay? If you think this is too much complicated for you, you can go with copying these types and data into your project and you can go on. Or you can go with regular JavaScript as well. Okay? Cool. Now we have our dummy data. It's time to create our UI based on this data. Okay, first let's check what kind of layout we have here. As you can see, we have a spacing here, we have our padding, and also we have another spacing between these components, right? So how we can create this layout? To create this layout, first we need to create this spacing, but we need the spacing in every page, right? Because we have our navigation, and that's why we need to create this padding with the content and navigation. That's why we can use our layout.js, layout TSX file. In our layout TSX file, we can create a div and we can put our children inside of this div, and we can have this styling in here, like PT and 10 maybe. Okay, we can go to our application. As you can see, now we have this padding, top padding. Okay, cool. Now let's go to our home page, and inside of this page, let's bring our padding container, and we can wrap our home page with this padding container. As you can see, now we have this padding. Okay, last thing that I want to do is spacing between components. You can create this spacing with space Y and 10. When we put another component here, as you can see, we will have this spacing. We can put another. Okay, cool. Cool. Now we can get rid of this divs, and I think we are ready to create our postcard component. As you can see, for our postcard component, we have different layouts. First one is horizontal, second one is vertical, and the third one is reversed horizontal. But first, let's create our first layout. Okay, then we can decide how we are going to create these different layouts. To create our postcard, we can go to our components folder, and inside of this folder we can create another folder called posts. Okay, or maybe post. And inside of this folder we will create our postcard TSX component like this. Postcard. Okay, cool. And in our home page, we will return this component, but first we need to import it like this. Okay, cool. And as props, we need to get our post data, right? First we can get our post data like this, post, and also we need to create our interface post props like this. Oops, sorry. And post will be the post type that we have created before, like this. Post props. Okay. Now we can get our post data like this. And in our home page, we need to first import our dummy posts data, and we can pass this data into our postcard. Post will be dummy posts, and we can select the first one. Okay, cool. Now we can go to our application. As you can see, we can get our post data. Now, as you can see here, this is link, right? When you click the postcard, wherever you click, you will be directed to the post page. That's why we need to make this link, and we can import from Next/link. Okay, cool. And as ref, we can use template strings like this, and first we need to write our post segment, and then we can get our slug from post data. Don't think about this at the moment. We will dive into how we can create these dynamic routes in later sections. Okay, cool. As you can see, it created our link. Now we need to get rid of this. First, we will have our post image, and then we will have our post content here, like this, post content. Okay, cool. To bring our post image, we can import our image component from next image. We have to use this image component for our images because Next.js automatically optimize those images for us. Okay, and also they have bunch of cool features which is coming with this image component. That's why we have to use this image component. Actually, if you try to use regular image component like this, ESLint will tell you you need to use image component from Next.js. When you are serving image, you must use image component from Next.js like this. Okay, cool. And for the source part, we will use our post.image data because we already defined our image source in our data, right? And as you can see, there is an error here. We need to define our width and height. Let's define it, width, and this can be 600, and for the height, this can be 300. Okay, cool. Also, we need to define our alt text like this, post.title. Okay, now we are cool, but there is another error here. It says that this host name is not configured under image in your next.config.js. So what should we do to fix this error? First of all, if you are serving image with Next.js from external sources, you need to define these sources, external sources in your next config file. Okay, that's why we need to copy this link. Since we are hosting all images, since we are getting all images from Unsplash at the moment, we need to use this host name. Okay, if we are using another image hosting service, we need to put this host name into our configuration file as well. Okay, now let's go to our next.config.js, and in this file we can use image key, and we can use remote patterns, and this is going to be array of objects, and in this object we can define our host name like this, and also we need to define our protocol as well since we are using HTTPS here. Okay, cool. Now we need to refresh our page. As you can see, now we can see our image in our homepage. Okay, let's go to our postcard component. Okay, and for the moment we can get our title like this, but we need to make this horizontal, right? Because in here this is horizontal. Okay, let's make this horizontal. First of all, this is gonna be grid, and grid calls for calls to. Okay, now it's horizontal, and we can define the gap here. Maybe we can make this 10. Okay, cool. Now, I think the horizontal layout is ready. And we need to get the whole content, but we will create another component for this content, okay? Now let's create this component. Okay, let's create post content component. In our post folder, we can create another file called post content.tsx like this. And we can create our function post content. Okay, cool. And again, we will get our post data and post content props like this. We can copy this name and interface like this. Post will be post type. Okay, now we are ready. First, we can create our tags, right? These tags. Let's create it. Let's put some comment here, tags like this, and create a div for our tags. Okay, cool. And first tag will be our category name, right? To get our category name, we can write post.category.title like this. And also we need to import this post content component into this postcard component, right? So let's get rid of this and post content component. And we need to pass our post data like this. Post. Okay, cool. Let's go to our post content component and create our styles. First of all, this is gonna be text, SM and flags, and we can put gap 1 and items center, okay, like this. And we need to change the color of this tag based on category. If it's steez, it's gonna be green or bluish, right? Okay, cool. Let's create this style. Class name, and we are gonna make this template string like this. And first of all, it's gonna be font medium. And if post.category.title equals steez, it's gonna be text emerald 500, or it's gonna be text indigo 500 like this. Let's check if it's green. Yeah, maybe we can make this 600. Okay, cool. Now we need to create our little circle here like this. Class name, width 2, height 2, and rounded full, and BG neutral 200 maybe. Yeah. Okay, cool. Maybe we can make this gap 2 as well. Okay, cool. Now we will create the author name. Let's create it. Div post.author.first name, and actually let's make this template string like this, and we can put like this. And we need to change this with last name. Yeah, cool. Let's copy this circle again. Okay. Now we need to get our reading time and relative date, right? For the moment, I will create this with hard-coded text, but we will dive into how we can get our reading time based on our post body, I mean the post content. We will calculate the reading time, and also I will dive into how we can calculate the relative date based on the date we created or we published our post. But for the moment, I will create this text by hand, okay? First, let's say that one min read like this, and we can go to our application and we can copy this one again, and for the relative day, 1 or 1 month ago, like this. Okay, cool. But I want to give another color for these texts, like neutral 400 maybe. Yeah, I think looks cool. Okay, cool. Now we can create our title and description. Let's go here and title. Maybe we can make this H2 like this, and we can get our post title here, and also we can make this font semi-bold maybe. Yeah, I think looks cool. Or maybe we can make it medium. Yeah, medium is better. And also I want to give some padding between those elements with space by 2 maybe. Yeah, cool. And I want to get our description here like this. Yeah, cool, but it's not gonna be text LG. And also we can make the line height a little bit bigger, like snug maybe. Okay, cool, let's check. Yeah. And also maybe we can make this bigger, like XL or 2XL. Okay, cool. Okay, now let's create our read more button like this, read more. And we can make this div, since it's not gonna be link because we have already created our link for the postcard component, right? That's why we don't need to use another link. We can write read more here, and we can get some arrow right from Lucid like this. Yeah, cool. And maybe we can make it smaller like this. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna make this flex items center and gap 2. Okay, it's cool, I think. Now we can go to our postcard and put items center here to put this content into center, okay? Like here. And also we need to give some style to our image component. In our image component, we can use rounded MD, and we are going to make this full width, object cover and object center. And also we will define a max height like this. Okay, now it looks same to me. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can make this title a little bit bigger in our post content. Let me check, where is it? Yeah, maybe we can make this 3XL. Yeah, okay, cool. Also, let me try to increase the margin in here, but since we define our paddings with this space Y, we cannot create margin here, right? But maybe we can give some top padding like this. Yeah, maybe we can make this 3. Yeah, cool. Now it looks better to me. Okay, cool. Now we will create the other layouts. In here we have our horizontal layout, but we need to create this vertical layout too, right? Okay, now let's create this vertical layout. Okay, to create vertical layout, let's first import another post into our home page like this. And we can get the maybe 5th post. Okay, cool. As you can see, our different color for the other categories working. Okay, cool. And let's try to make this post vertical. To make this happen, we need to go to our postcard and we need to define another prop called layout. Okay, and this is gonna be vertical or horizontal like this, and we can pass this layout prop into here, layout, okay, like this. And I want to make this unrequired like this, and also I want to give a default value for this, and this is gonna be horizontal. Okay, by default it's gonna be horizontal. If we declare it's vertical, it's gonna be vertical. Okay, cool. Now let's define this second post's layout as vertical like this. Okay, cool. Now let's change this layout, grid layout, based on this layout data. First, I need to make this a template string like this, and we can get rid of this one. Okay, cool. And if layout equals horizontal, we will use this styling. Okay, but if it's not, we will just use space Y10 like this. Okay, Now, as you can see, it's vertical, right? But I think we need to check our home page and why it's not working. 12, 10. Okay, I will check this in the later sections. Okay. Now I think we need to create this list component to list our postcards inside of it. Okay, because we don't want to create separately postcard component in our homepage or in our category page. We want to create a component that holds posts as list. Okay, let's create our post list component, post-lists.tsx like this, and create our function post list like this. And as prop, it will take posts, okay, and layout. And let's create the post lists props here, and we can copy this. We can create our type interface post list props like this, and posts will be post, but this is gonna be array of posts, right? So that's why we need to put this array sign with the type. Okay, you can define your types as a single object, and if you want to make this array of object with this type, you can use this sign. Okay, cool. Now we need to get layout. Layout will be vertical or horizontal, and by default it will be vertical because in this list all posts will be vertical. Okay, cool. And in here we will map through our posts like this, okay, an arrow function, and we will get our post data in here, okay, and we will return our postcard component like this, and we need to pass our post data into this card like this, and also we need to add key. Since we are mapping through a list, we have to put key, okay, post.id like this. And let's give layout from layout. Okay, cool. Now let's go to our home page and delete this, and instead of this let's get our post list component, and here I want to send second and third post. Okay, we can do this with filter function like this, and we need to create arrow function inside of it, and we can get our post and index like this, and we can delete this if index bigger than 0, because we already use 0, and index is smaller than 3 like this. It's gonna be 1 and 2, right? Okay, and since we don't use this post, we can put underscore here. Okay, cool. We got our posts. Now we need to give some styling to this post list component like this, class name. And actually this is gonna be grid, and grid calls to, right? And also we will have gap like this. Okay, I think it looks very cool. And I think it's pretty same with the design that we are copying, right? Yep. Okay, now we need to calculate this reading time and this relative date. To calculate our reading time and the relative date, we will use npm packages. First one is reading time, and the second one is Luxon. These are pretty popular packages, so you can safely use in your project, okay? You can see that the weekly downloads nearly 5 million, so everybody is using these packages, so you can use it in your own project. Let's start with reading time first, okay? We need to install this library. We can use yarn add reading time like this, and it will download the package for us, okay? And in our project folder, we will create another folder called lib, and inside of this lib we can create a file called helpers like this. TS, yeah, cool. And inside of this file we will create a helper function called get reading time. Export const get reading time, and it will take text as prop and the type will be string. We will pass our post body into this function and it will calculate the reading time for us. And in this function we will return reading time that we are getting from reading time library like this, and it will return the time for us. And the second function will be get relative date like this, and we will pass our date string, const like this, date string into this function. But first we need to install our library. Again, we can use yarn add Luxon like this. Okay, cool. Now we need to first import date time object from our library. Okay, cool. And we can return our date time dot from ISO date and to relative like this. Okay, cool. I think there is an error with TypeScript at the moment. We can try to add types like this if it exists. Nope. Let me check. Again, yarn add types Luxon, and yep, we found it. Okay, now TypeScript should be happy. Yeah, happy. Sometimes with some libraries you need to install types separately if you are using TypeScript. This is a moment like that. You need to install those types as development dependency. Okay, cool. Now let's use these helper functions in our post content component. We can go to our post content component, and in here, instead of hard coding these values, we can use get reading time like this, and we need to pass our post body. Okay. I think there is an error. Maybe we can make this to text like this. Okay, cool. Now it's okay. And also we need to use our get relative date function here, and we will use post.date created like this. Let's check our application and refresh the page. Okay, yeah, it's working. It says like 1 year ago. It was 1 month ago before, right? And it's again 1 min read because the post body is very small in our dummy data, but it will change once we get our data, once we fetch our data from our CMS. Okay, now let's create the reversed version of this postcard component. First, let's import all posts into our homepage. We can get the postcard here, and also we need another post list. But for this, we will use 3 and 6, like this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we need to make this reversed. Okay. For that purpose, we can go to our postcard. We can close this terminal and add another prop called reverse like this. And this is not going to be required as this one. And reverse, and as default, it's going to be false. Okay. And if the reverse is true, we can make this template string like this. And I will delete this backticks. Okay, cool. And if reverse, it's gonna be order last or nothing. Okay, cool. Now let's say this reverse true, and as you can see, now it reversed. Okay, cool. I think now we need to, we can go back, and we need to create this CTA card component, but we are going to be change this design a little bit. Let's create it. Okay, let's create this CTA card component here. Okay, to create this component, we can go to our elements folder, and inside of this folder, we can create another file called CTA card.tsx like this. CTA card. Okay, cool. And let's import this card into our home page here. CTA card like this. Okay, cool. Now let's go to our component, and in this component, first let's create our content container like this, and this is gonna be div, and inside of this div we will have our tag. Let me copy this tag, yeah, like this, and we will have our heading like this, and let me copy this heading as well, and also we will have our description like this. Okay, cool. We can fix this problem like this. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have our tag, our title, and our description. But we need to make this card, right? First, let's give some styling into our container. Rounded MD like this. Maybe for the moment we can set a background color, and for top and bottom margin 6, and for actually we can make it 10 and px 6 like this. Yeah, cool. And we need to make this medium and make it larger like this. Yeah, cool. And also we need to make this a little bit bigger, and maybe we can make it semi-bold like this, and also give some top margin. Yeah, cool. And then for the description, we can give some top margin as well, and also we can make it bigger, and let's put some max width like this. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Now we need to create this background image and the overlay. Okay, to create this background image, first we need to make this relative, okay, because we will position our image and overlay with the absolute position. First, let's create our image, and for the image, let's import image component from next image, and we can get the source like this. Okay, and this is gonna be fill, because again we need to be position this image with the absolute positioning, and this fill property make this image absolute position. Okay, cool. Now we need to give some alt tags, CTA card image like this, and we can give some class object center and object cover, and also this needs to be overflow hidden, right? Yep, cool. Now we need to bring content to the front, right? Let's create another class for this purpose and make this relative, and also put z index like this. Maybe we can make it 20. Yeah, and to make this text more readable, we need to put some kind of overlay above the image. Actually, we will put this overlay between image and the text content, right? So we can create this overlay here like this, and class name, this is gonna be absolute, and inset 0, which means that top 0, right 0, left 0, and bottom 0. It's a shorthand for this. Okay, cool. Now we need to give some background, and we can make this gradient like this to right, maybe, yeah, from white, and we can make this 95. It means that we give some opacity, and we are white 70 and 2 white 30 maybe. Yeah, okay. And also we need to give some z-index like 10. Okay. I think there is an error with this gradient to bottom right. Yeah, like this. Okay, cool. Now our text can be is readable because thanks to this overlay, we put some kind of white background between image and the text content. That's why our text is much more readable. Now I want to create a form element here to collect newsletter data. Okay, form like this. And let's create our form like that. And I will put some input inside of it. Oops, sorry, like this. Okay. And we can give some background, white maybe. Yeah. And also we need to make this, actually we can put this inside of this container. Yeah, cool. And let's give some top margin like this maybe. Yeah, cool. And we can put some placeholder, write your email like this. Okay. And text will be base. Okay. Rounded MD like this. Cool. And also we can give some padding like this. Yeah. Cool. And we can change the focus color, outline none, and focus we will give some ring 2, ring neutral. Yep, like this. I think this is great. Okay. Also, maybe we can give some opacity to our background like this. Yeah. Cool. And maybe we can decrease this padding a little bit. Yeah. And we can change the font size of placeholder, or maybe small. Yeah, cool. And we can put a button here, sign up like this. Yeah. And let's create some styling for this button. BG neutral 900, maybe rounded MD, PY 2 and PX 3 like this. Yeah, cool. And text will be neutral 200. Yeah, cool. And also make this flex and items center and gap 2. Yeah, I think it's great. Okay, cool. Now we have created our form, but I will create the form action once we created our CMS, because we will pass this form data directly into our CMS. That's why at the moment I'm not gonna create the form action the submit handler, but we will do this in later section. Okay, cool. Now I think our home page is almost ready. The only thing that we need to work on is making this page responsive, right? At the moment, it's not good on mobile or smaller devices. We need to make this page responsive, right? Okay, let's make this page responsive. And the third key concept that I want to introduce you is responsive design with Tailwind CSS. We can follow the official documentation of Tailwind CSS to understand how we can create responsive designs in our application. You can click this Get Started button and you can go to the menu, and in this menu you can go to Responsive Design section. The first concept that I want to show you is breakpoints, which means that you can target elements based on the window sizes. For example, when we change the size of this window, as you can see, design is changing, right? So this is targeting the window size. So we can set different styles for smaller devices or larger screens. Okay, you can use these breakpoint prefixes to target those screen sizes. The second concept is a brand new concept in browsers, and it's called container queries. With container queries, you can target an element based on its size. For example, if you create your container here, inside of this container, you can change styles based on the size of this container. Let me show you what's the difference between them. In the first part, in the first concept, we are targeting screen sizes. Let's assume that this is a tablet and this is a mobile device, right? So with this different screen sizes, we can set different styles. But with the container queries, when we set our container like this, we can set different style based on the size of this container. As you can see in here, even though we are on a different screen sizes, we have the same container size, right? But sometimes we can have different container sizes on same screen sizes or different sizes. That's why sometimes we need to set different styles based on the size of container. I know that it can be complicated if it's too new for you, but we will dive into how we can create different styles based on this different two concept. Okay, now let's make our homepage responsive. Okay, let's first install the container queries plugin like this: yarn add Tailwind CSS / container queries. Okay, and we need to put this plugin into our tailwind.config.js file in here. Okay, like this. Okay, cool. Now we can use container queries in our application. But first, let's check and define a strategy to make this page responsive. For example, when we decrease the screen size like that, I think first we need to fix this problem. We need to make this vertical, right? And this one. Okay, let's start with this problem. Let's go to our postcard component. And as you can see, we were defining our layout based on this prop, right? In here, we can say that if it's on mobile, we can make this like this, grid calls 1, which means that on smaller devices, it will be 1 column grid, okay? And if the screen size is bigger like this, if we put this breakpoint prefix here for medium-sized devices, which means that until it's a medium-sized device, it will be 1 column grid, okay? Let's check if it works. Yeah, it works. Let's make this bigger. As you can see now, it's responsive. Let's check here. In here, we need to fix this problem, right? Because when it's vertical, we want to put this image on top. We need to change this reverse order. That's why we can use this prefix here as well. On mobile, we will not make it reverse, but on from medium-sized devices, it will be reverse like this. Okay? Okay, let's check what we can fix to make this responsive, much more responsive actually. I think first we need to make this list like a vertical list on smaller devices, right? Because there is no space for both of postcard, right? We need to make this vertical and we need to show 1 post at a time, right? Okay, let's fix this. We can go to our post lists and we can say that if it's on smaller devices, it's gonna be grid calls 1, and from the medium devices, it will be like this. Cool, right? Let's check this one. Yeah, cool. But I want to change the text size on these postcards based on the container size. Let me show you what I mean. For example, in here, we have a bigger title, but in here, the title is smaller, right? How we can fix this? Let's go to our postcard component and first let's define this link as our container like this, okay? Now we can target different container sizes. So first let's go to our post content component and in our title, let's say that if it's LG, it's gonna be text 3XL. And let's go to our application. Let me remove this for a second first. As you can see at the moment, they are all same, but when we put this, these are smaller, right? And maybe we can make this text XL, and at medium we can make this text 2XL like this. Okay, let's check it. Yeah, it works great, right? Okay, now we can change the description text as well. For the description tags, we can use text base, but if it's on larger container, we can make this text LG maybe. Yeah. Like this. I think we are almost done with the responsive design on our homepage, right? I don't see any problem at the moment. Let me check again. Yeah, I think we are done, right? Maybe we can make this full width on smaller devices. Let's go to our CTA card component and make this full width, and also we can make this input full width on mobile device, and we can say that white space no wrap. Yeah, cool. But on bigger screens, we don't want to make this full width, right? So we can fix this problem with our breakpoint prefixes. Where was it? Yeah, here. It's gonna be with auto. Okay, like this. Okay, cool. I think the responsive design on our homepage is ready. Now we can go to our category page, and I can show you how we can create dynamic runes with Next.js.